Get fast, reliable internet for any budget. Now, qualifying customers can get Xfinity Internet free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That's right, free high-speed internet from Xfinity. And Internet Essentials customers can get equipment included at no extra cost. Get started today.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist and award-winning author on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in even more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond that which I share on podcasts like this, then feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, recently recognized as an Independent Book Publishers Association Benjamin Franklin Gold Award winner for the unique way it addresses the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And I hope that no matter what your role or position is, if you're a helping professional in any way, that you'll consider ordering diversity in clinical practice so that you can learn more practical and encouraging tips and strategies to meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And similarly, whether it be through my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author and public speaker, then my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. Today, I want to talk to you about unconscious bias, particularly at the Sesame Place incident that happened recently. Now, if you weren't aware, there was a recent incident at Sesame Place theme park in Pennsylvania where a costume character in a parade was seen on video waving and high-fiving parents and children on the sidelines, a common occurrence. But then, upon approaching two little African-American girls that were in the parade on the sidelines of the parade, the character waved them off and walked on almost immediately in favor of greeting and engaging with and even hugging a white family that came right after them nearby. So not only had the video gone viral, but it sparked outrage by many around the country. But also the family is now processing or pursuing suing legal action against Sesame Place as a result of this incident. Now, since many people are having different opinions about this, and as the conversation continues to go on and build, I want to share a few thoughts to consider in the event that you find yourself discussing this event or others like it in your day-to-day interactions. The first thing is that it's an often insufficiently understood scenario that while the incident itself was disappointing and hurtful to the family involved, it is the response by Sesame Place that actually made it worse. At any parade, there will be experiences of performance engaging with some and not others. That in and of itself isn't that shocking. But when there's an interaction immediately before and immediately after, and one of the main differences between those who receive attention and interaction and those who don't is their race or ethnicity, then it reasonably makes one wonder, is this part of the normal odds, or is this an occurrence of intentionally being singled out because of the racial or ethnic difference? Then on top of that, you factor in that the character looked at them, saw them, and then waved them off. Then the odds seem even more in favor of the intentionally singling out conclusion, despite the odds. So when the first response to this incident by Sesame Place was to express that the character didn't see them, it was experienced as being less of empathizing with an undesirable yet common occurrence and more of an effort to dismiss discriminatory behavior. After all, if the character didn't see them, then who were they waving no to? As a result, the incident then gets magnified by the response that appeared to intend to dismiss the family's experience and thus dismiss their pain and dismiss their discomfort by justifying potentially discriminatory behavior. Second thing on top of that is often misunderstood is the value for consistency. See, in response to the follow-up response, apologizing for the character's behavior, that this incident would be reviewed and changes made. That was the response. In addition to investigating whether someone needs to be fired and whether deeper issues of discrimination need to be addressed, one of the changes made that could be made is that of consistency. See, while theme parks like this can make threats to employees about their behavior as a result, and some may even need therapies, may benefit from therapy. I'm sure many could to explore deeper issues at play. One change that they can make now is to help every employee do whatever they can do for whoever they encounter. Do whatever they do. If you walk, if you hug kids in a parade, then you hug all the kids in a parade. If you're done hugging, then you're done hugging for everybody. I know this sounds basic, but since deeper issues often take time to explore and address, a now change, a simple in concept, but practically now change that can happen can reduce misunderstandings. A now change like this can more effectively reveal those who are having difficulty making that kind of change, and thus highlight who needs to have an additional maybe role change or even an employment change. So some people have even said, well, if that is something you have difficulty with, then maybe being a character at a place like Sesame Place isn't the job for you. It's less of a character judgment as much as identifying if this is a struggle for you, then maybe you're in the wrong place. In my diversity made simple trainings, this is where I would pause and spend time acknowledging in more depth that I'm not even assuming that incidents like this are done on purpose with intentional racist or prejudiced motives. However, that leaves the room for what is more commonly described as unconscious bias. You see, sometimes people waste their breath defending their intentions and justifying what they weren't trying to do. Well, I was only trying to do this, only to later discover that their unintentional, unconscious patterns in their behavior are based on who they feel comfortable around and who they don't, even if they weren't aware of it. Instead of wasting time defending your intentions, let's own and take accountability for our actions and learn the motivations behind our actions, which can help us then make better interactions. Which brings me to the third thing worth addressing, and that is of accountability. Even as the viral news stories begin to settle down, the family is still pursuing legal action against Sesame Place. However, contrary to popular belief, the family asserts that it's not for financial money grab as much as it is for accountability. See, after incidents like this hit the news, many other families not only said they experienced the same thing, but there are other videos now coming out reflecting such. See, unfortunately, when they expressed their concerns before being treated differently or being negatively impacted, their concerns were dismissed. Well, you see, what the character was only trying to do was, or it probably wasn't that bad, or they didn't mean to. And while I value the impact of feelings, being a therapist, I also acknowledge the value of consequences. But sometimes consequences are the only way people are motivated to make change that benefit others outside of themselves. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I won't claim to have all the right answers regarding what specific consequences should occur and what should happen next. However, whether that be a financial settlement or the firing of a particular character or unconscious bias training for all staff, not just singling out one person, I hope that this incident and the viral impact of the video serves as motivation enough for those in leadership at Sesame Place, along with any other service-oriented industry or organization like this, to take intentional steps to reduce the likelihood of not only not being the next viral moment or experience, but also to increase the likelihood that every child and family feels equally seen and valued no matter what cultural similarities or differences they may have. My hope for you, no matter what role you're in, is that you will be a part of healthier conversations like this at home, maybe even at work or in the community, that seek less to further sensationalize incidents like this and more to bring about healthier understanding of the impact of incidents like this and bring and spark necessary change for everybody involved. So, with that, I'll say thank you for listening to today's Diversity Do podcast. And if you have any pressing diversity related questions that you'd like me to address in an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame free or empowering guest speaker or training on this often sensitive topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.lambertsfisher.com. And also, again, check out my award winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available on Amazon.com. And I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in the future on future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride of being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
For millions of Americans, the pandemic impacted our financial situations, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But that should not mean you have to lose your house if you can't pay for your mortgage. Listen, no need to feel ashamed if you missed a payment or 2 or 3, because there's a local organization that's willing to help you get caught up on those payments so you can keep your home. Let me tell you about the Minnesota Home Ownership Center. It's a nonprofit whose sole purpose is to prevent you from going into foreclosure. The Minnesota Home Ownership Center has a network of organizations around the state to review everything with you, explain your options, and then advocate for you to get the help you need. And get this, they won't charge you because it's all free. Check out hocmn.org or give them a call at 651-410-1086 to set up an appointment. You worked hard to get into that house. Let Minnesota Home Ownership Center help you stay in it.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.